That you, Scotty.
Nope.
Okay, it's 7 p.m. We'll begin the City of Ferrisburg City Council meeting tonight pursuant with Executive Order number 2020-48. Ferrisburg City Council will conduct its business via Zoom to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. Members of the public are welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Members of the public are not required to register or otherwise provide information to attend. Please utilize the mute function on your phone while on the conference call when appropriate. Mayor Hop will run the virtual meeting like a regular meeting. There will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting for public comment. So tonight's council meeting, May 4th, 2020, 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hop,
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Here.
Councilmember O'Donnell,
Here.
Councilmember Carlson,
Here.
Councilmember Blees,
Here.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Here.
Councilmember Sias,
Here.
Moving on with the agenda, item number 3. We're going to have a moment of silence to remember all who have been affected by COVID-19. At this time, please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States
United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
justice for all.
Moving down to item number 6. During tonight's council meeting, all votes will be via roll call. Item 6A, approve March 2, 2020 City Council meeting minutes as printed. Items 6B, adopt a resolution to proclaim April 24, 2020 as Arbor Day in the city of Ferrisburg.
I'll make a motion to support the consent agenda.
Support.
Okay, there's a motion and support. All those, roll call, please.
Councilmember Sias,
Yay.
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilmember Blees,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Donnell,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Mayor Hop,
Yes. Moving down to new business, item number 7, and also to make the listening audience aware, council members that are present in the meeting are Mayor Hop, Councilmember DeWitt, Councilmember Blees, Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell, Councilmember Montgomery, Councilmember Sias, Councilmember Richardson is on audio only. The new business for 7A, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a memorandum of understanding between the City of Grand Haven's Neighborhood Housing Service and the City of Grand and Ferrisburg, and to authorize the mayor and the city clerk to sign all necessary documents. That information was in our packet, and it would be 2 years, unlike our yearly contract that we've had in the past.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to support.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there
Support.
Support, okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Carlson,
Support.
Councilmember Blees,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Donnell,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Mayor Hop,
Yes. Motion passed. Moving down to item 7B, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a bid from for the amount of for the Second Street water main extension. And I believe that a representative from Warren Brugink is available. No, did I see him? He was, Craig?
He was there, he's gone.
Your Honor,
Yes,
I would make a motion that we accept the bid from Tile. They're a little bit more, but they are local company, the employees, local people. They've done work with the city in the past and have done satisfactory work.
Support.
okay, so there's motion support. Further discussion. I know that Warren Brugink was going to be on this call at this time. They were, and they're not. Mr. Bessinger, would you be able to step in and
Sure,
at this
there's,
time?
there is a representative from Georgetown Construction that might want to talk.
Okay. Can we unmute him?
Yes. Done? Georgetown?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my name's Steve Crane. I'm the project manager for Georgetown. We have a real issue. We gave you a fair bid. We were low bid. We're an Ottawa County contractor. We see no reason that it should not be accepted as it is. It's just not, it's not a good standard. We were up, we came in with a good bid for you guys. I think you should honor that.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time to speak tonight, sir. In our packet also was part of with our charter where it states the competitive bidding and awarding of contracts and purchases. Hope everyone had an opportunity to review that before this vote tonight. And Craig, the letter that we received from Warren Brugink also was in favor of Georgetown Construction because they have done work with them in the past. Is that correct?
That is correct. I spoke with Steve Groeneboom from Warren Brunty today. He still recommends that the award be given to Georgetown Construction. They've done business with Georgetown, satisfactory work with them, and he recommends going with a low bid with Georgetown.
Okay. Does any council members have any questions or need clarification regarding this?
Your Honor,
Steve-
Yes, correct.
Steve's
Who's
on
up?
the phone. Steve
Oh,
Groeneboom
Steve's
is
on the
here.
phone? Okay.
Steve, go ahead.
You guys there?
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Good evening. I've been struggling with Zoom here. But I think I got it figured out. Can you see me and hear me or just hear me?
Just hear you.
Okay,
You're only
Okay.
audio.
okay. It shouldn't make a difference how you act on Zoom, whether you're seen or heard, but, okay. I just tuned in. We're up to the Second Street water main. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, first, let me say, it's been a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years since we've had the chance to meet with you folks, and it is just wonderful, wonderful to be back again. I really mean that. Nice to be here in these odd circumstances. We are chatting tonight about Second Street water main. And we received 2 bids back on Thursday, March 12. Georgetown Construction submitted the low bid. They are out of Jenison, Michigan. The low bid was $248,429.50. A second bid was received by Jim Tiles of Tiles Excavating. That bid was $252,703.75, a difference of $4,000 and change. Tonight, we are recommending an award to Georgetown Construction. Craig asked me, the mayor asked Craig to ask me if we could chat a little bit about the city's policy to award contracts, maybe not to the low bidder, which you certainly have the right to do if it's less than 5% apart. This, I think, was 1.72% lower for Georgetown Construction. If you could see me, I'm holding up the paper here. which lists your ordinance, and it talks about the bidder's ability, capacity, and skill to perform, which they both have. The character, integrity, reputation, of course, which they both have. Bidder's previous existing compliance with laws and ordinances relating to contracts. I think they're both good on those too. Item D says the sufficiency of financial resources of the bidder. We're comfortable with both. The availability and adaptability of the supplies, materials, equipment, or contractual services to the particular use required. That's part E in Craig's memo. They're both good there. The bidder's ability to provide future maintenance and service to the extent required by the contract. And G, the number or scope of conditions attached to the bid by the bidder. They're both good there, both good contractors. H kind of doesn't apply, the brand, maker, type of product being proposed by the bidder. Both are proposing the same. I says if all bids received are for the same total amount or unit price, quality, and service being equal, the contract shall be awarded to the local bidder. However you want to interpret that is up to council tonight. I do know Georgetown, they would argue they are somewhat local. They're in Jenison. It's, 35, 40 minutes away. They would say they're still in Ottawa County. And the bid is not for the same amount. The low bid was submitted by Georgetown Construction. And J, a bidder is a local bidder, and the local bidder's price is not greater than 5% above. That's where you have the option to award it to Tiles Excavating if you choose to. I guess one thing I would caution you, if you do award it to Tiles, like I said, they're good too. If you do award it to Tiles, I would caution you, we have had a tough time getting not bids on jobs in Ferrisburg, but getting a wide range of bids on past projects. Typically, you'll get 4 or 5 bidders. I don't know why there was only 2 on this one. It was busy at the time. If you are to break from a tradition of awarding it to the low bid, you probably won't receive future bids from Georgetown Construction. I can't speak for them, but that would be my guess. So those 2 reasons we would recommend Georgetown Construction yet. One third thing that we always do in this situation, you look at the unit prices bid on this job. You have again, I'm holding it up to my computer screen, even though you can't see it. You've got a summary of the engineer's estimate. You've got Georgetown Construction's breakdown. You have Tiles Excavating's breakdown. The total amount paid is based upon how much work do they do? How much asphalt do they put down? How much water main do they put in? How many hydrants they put in? How many valves they put in? How much undercutting there is? We always look individually at unit prices bid, especially on jobs like this when they're only 1.7, 1.8% apart. And we try to determine if you put in a little more water main or a little less asphalt, does that tip the scales one way or the other? I don't think it does on this one. Sometimes contractors will turn in what's called an unbalanced bid, where they might lump all their prices together on, say, mobilization and very little on the rest of the job, or a lot on the rest of the job and less on other items in the project. It doesn't look like that's the case here. We would still recommend Georgetown Construction. I will leave it to you, though, to make the decision. You are the client, you are the owner on this job.
Thank you, Steve, for this explanation that you shared. And your experience with Georgetown Construction has been favorable in the past?
Very favorable. We kicked off a job in Kentwood today, a $1.2 million project in Kentwood today. It's been very favorable, yes.
Before we do a vote, I grew up in Jenison. I knew former employees with that company, and I don't know if they're still employed there any longer or not. It has been multiple years, but I just wanted to disclose that to everyone. So at this time, yes.
I would like to show my opposition to the awarding to the tiles company for Georgetown. At this time, we are looking at a very serious cut in our, or not necessarily cut, but a loss of revenue in our budget with $87,000. We're gonna have to come up with. And I can see some problems down the road. So we need to start looking and be very frugal with our money. And even though it's only a couple $1,000s could we might be able to apply to another project. So I would like to just put that out there. It looks like it's pretty much the same for both. And they are both, I consider them both local contractors. Thank you.
Any other comment?
Your
Yeah,
Honor,
Yes,
I
go
think-
ahead, Richard.
Your Honor, I concur with Councilman O'Donnell. And secondly, I do believe that it's in our best interest to accept the low bid since they both essentially are local companies. And we have a lot of construction coming down the pipe.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I agree with Councilman O'Donnell as well. I think in order for us to continue getting competitive bids, we need to stick with the low bidder.
Any more comments, discussion? Need
Yeah,
clarification?
Your Honor,
Yes,
I also agree with Tim O'Donnell. I know that contractors put a lot of work into these bids, and it's hard to come in as a low bidder. And I think they're both qualified companies, so I think we should honor the low bid compliance that we generally agree to. So I also agree with Tim. And Tiles is a local company. We like to support that, but you know, they're both local companies, I would just say. So they're both Ottawa County companies. So yeah, I do like Tiles. They're a great company, but in this case, I think we should go with the low bid.
all right. So hearing that, we have a motion support. So we will go for a roll call, please.
And this is roll call to award it to Tiles Excavating. Councilmember Blease,
Wait,
Yes.
so this is
Yes, Mayor.
being awarded to Tiles.
this is the vote to award to Tiles. That was the motion on the floor.
Is that what council wishes to go through after I'm hearing comments that the council members have just shared?
But you have a motion and a second on the floor that you have to vote
Right.
on first.
Correct.
Oh.
So
And then if that don't pass, you could go somewhere
then we'll go
else.
to the second motion, correct?
Okay,
Just so council members are aware of this as they're making their votes. Okay,
ready?
correct.
Councilmember Blease,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
No,
Councilmember O'Donnell,
No,
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes,
Councilmember Sias,
No.
Councilmember Carlson,
No,
Mayor Hop,
No,
motion failed.
okay,
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we award the contract to Georgetown Construction for the
I'll
amount.
second that.
okay. Do you want to add the amount in that motion?
I don't have that amount in front of me. I'm sorry. But yes, I'd like to add that.
Okay, so that would be added in at estimate, are we, so the,
248 something.
248,429 and 50 cents.
50 cents, correct,
Yes.
all right. So we have that added into the motion,
Yep.
okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes,
Councilmember O'Donnell,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
yes,
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson,
yes,
Councilmember Blease,
Yes.
Mayor Hop,
Yes,
motion passed, awarded to Georgetown.
thank you. Moving down to item number 7C, discussion and take action, if appropriate, to approve the bid from Wolf Kubota for $49,250 for a 2020 Kubota tractor. That information was in our packet also from our DPW supervisor, Schendelbeck.
Your Honor, I would
Yes,
make a motion that we accept the bid from Wolf Kubota, $49,250 for the 2020 Kubota tractor.
okay, there's a motion
Support.
and support, okay? Further discussion or clarification that council members need at this time?
Your Honor,
Yes,
is this funding gonna come out of the vehicle funding? Out of the millage for the vehicle funding?
yes.
Okay.
Any other questions on regarding this purchase? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember O'Donnell. Councilmember O'Donnell. Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes,
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilmember Blees,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Mayor Hop,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you. Moving down to item 7D, discussion, take action if appropriate to approve a bid for the amount of for overband track ceiling. And there was 2 bids that were in our packet. So,
Your Honor.
yes,
I do not have that numbers in front of me, and I did not pull it up on my computer. It died or whatever. Anyway, could you have Craig go through that and explain it to us, please?
we
Sure.
need to have a motion, okay. Go ahead.
So we received bids for crack sealing a number of streets here in the city. Low bid was from Lakeshore Parking at $59.65. The only second bid received was $7,910. Reviewed this with the Public Works Supervisor. He indicated that the low bid company has done work in the city in the past. There was some questions and concerns with the amount of material that was put down. Didn't stick. I don't know if it wasn't put down enough or enough material was used or wrong product was used at that time. Both companies have bid the same product this time, but they're still concerned by the Public Works Supervisor regarding the previous work by the low bid. He would recommend the second bid at Pittsman Asphalt for $7,910.
Okay,
Your Honor.
yes,
So that would be your recommendation, Craig, to go with, even though it's a little higher bid?
Yes, for the quality of work, based on the quality of work.
Okay, thank you.
so we would need a motion to move forward with this?
Your Honor, I would make a motion to accept the bid from the company that Craig recommends. I do not have that information, the name in front of me. So
Pittman Asphalt for $7,910.
that's the one. Thank you.
Okay,
Support.
motion and support.
Who supported?
Any further Councilmember O'Donnell? Any further discussion or need clarification before we take a vote? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes,
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilmember Blees,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Donnell, Mayor Hop,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you. Moving down to 7E, discussion, take action if appropriate to suspend applying late fees for water and sewer services until June 30, 2020. And this would be based off from exceptions with the COVID-19 that is affecting many of our residents at this time.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to make that approve that motion.
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Thias,
Yeah, yes.
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilmember Bleeth,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes,
Councilmember O'Donnell, Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes,
Mayor Hop,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Moving down to item 7F. Discussion and take action, if appropriate, to waive the April rental fees for leases of the space of Fairsburg City Hall. And that would involve basketball basic, $700, education station, $2,000 plus a portion of the utilities, Pioneer Resources, $1,000 plus a portion of the utilities, and Love in Action, $50. We need a motion support.
Your Honor.
Yes,
So these tenants that lease space here at City Hall, they have not been able to use the building for the month of April. It seems like they didn't use it for a couple weeks last week in March. It doesn't seem like they're gonna be able to use it here in May. So it's gonna be about 8 weeks of them not using the building, and there's been still paying the lease payments.
okay. But we'd only be looking at this, the way this is only for the April, waiving the April lease payments.
They were all invoiced April before I knew this, and they, as
Okay.
of today, they've all paid for April.
So then the motion would need to read to waive for May's lease payments then?
That would be up to City Council, yes.
Okay,
Your Honor,
yes,
I would make a motion that we waive all fees until the governor actually allows us to reopen the school and such what, whether that be 4 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it is. If it's more than 4 weeks, we can prorate it until they can actually open and use the building.
okay.
And that would be starting effective March 23rd.
Do we want it to begin back
Very-
March 23rd moving forward, or to begin April 1 moving forward?
Well, they already paid for April, as I understand it, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's make it from May 1st until the governor allows them to reopen their businesses in the city hall. Does that make sense?
They
Sure.
were not in the building at all in April, however.
we
They
just
simply
waive,
paid.
can we just waive their May rent and reassess it at our May council meeting?
We could do that also.
That would be my thought is if they can't use the building through the month of May is what it appears to be is where we're gonna be released is toward the end of May. We should at least waive it. And perhaps if they paid for April and did not use the building, maybe we should give them a month's credit going forward.
Okay,
Yeah, that would make more sense with me. I think we should give them credit for the June payment in lieu of the April payment. So they
okay,
wouldn't make a payment in June because they made the payment in April, give them that in lieu of. And then May, they're not using the building. So I don't see any need in charging them for May. Obviously, they're not gonna use it this month, so. I think that'd be the best way to go forward. And then we could wait until June to reassess it and till our June meeting and see where we go from there.
okay.
Would you
Any-
like that? would you like that in the form of a motion?
Yes, please.
I would make a motion that we credit the April rent toward June and waive the May rent until, and reassess at the end of May or first June, city council meeting.
I'd
Support.
second that, or support, okay.
There's motion support. Any further discussion regarding this? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilmember Blease,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Donnell, Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes,
Mayor Hop.
Yes.
Wait, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. Moving down to 7G, the work session, the proposed 2020-2021 city budget. Mr. Bessinger, I'll turn this to you.
Thank you, Mayor. So here we're going to go through, this was going to be on the March agenda as a work session item, but obviously we didn't meet in March. So this will, you've seen all this information, just to review, a chance for city council members to ask any questions if they have on this material. We also will plan another work session on the budget for the next meeting in May. That will have a little more detail of what's been included in the budget. Here is a slide that we review every year with city council. It's Public Act 152, which requires an employer to pay no more than 20% of the health premium. The last few years, city council has agreed to opt out of that requirement. And currently the employees pay 15% right now. Last year, we were over the hard cap by about $2,000. This year, based on a projected 4% increase in our healthcare premiums, it looks like we'll be over the hard cap budget by around $8,400. So at this time, I'm looking for some feedback on city council, whether to comply with Public Act 152 or prepare a resolution for the city to opt out of that.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I would make a motion that we opt out of that and continue at the 15% level.
Okay. Mr. Bessinger, would we need a motion on that decision tonight or when the, okay,
We'll have a resolution prepared at the next city council meeting if city council wants to move in that direction.
okay.
Here, this is from our capital improvement plan for the next 5 years here for the 2021 budget. We're looking at saving some money for the pumper replacement in 2025. We're projecting to buy a new pickup truck for the sewer department, replace the 2011 dump truck, and that will be outfitted for snow plowing. Here is capital improvement for the general fund. We talked about remodeling the restrooms here at City Hall. We've got some money in there for that. Doing some other improvements, some windows and carpet within the building. Outside work, the brick needs to be done. We got some money put in it for there. We've been replacing the computers every 4 years on a rotation of every 4 years in the city. In January, it'll be a 4-year period to replace the computers. So we budgeted some money for that. Some software updates. The fire department is budgeted $35,000 for their typical equipment purchases throughout a year. And we're also looking at maybe resurfacing the tennis and basketball courts at Coast Guard Park. Here are some streets that are going to be done in the next 5 years. You see for next year, we have nothing planned. The thing that we have here, we'll set aside some money for a Smith's Bridge. And we also have another payment due on the bike path debt service. Next year in 21-22, you can see that our project for the year would be the Dogwood Drive project. That's money that's coming through the MPO. We'll get about $400,000 from the MPO on that. And the rest, the 500,000 will be the city match. Here is the sewer fund capital improvement plan. We'll see this for the next 18 years. This was a 20-year bond. And these are the payments that will come out of the sewer fund to pay for those bonds. Here is the water fund capital improvement plan. We're looking at replacing some hydrants, the valves on Van Wagner. We have that in this year's budget. We're not sure we're going to get them done by June 30th, so that will probably be a carryover. The Spar Street loop from Spar water main loop it from Spar Street to Royal Avenue, actually at the end of Lavinia. We've been getting some pricing on that. It's about $300,000. It appears that we have able to obtain an easement from a property owner on Spar Avenue to lay the water main from the street through his property underneath the lake there. And then the next one is the Peppermill Loop to Jordan Lane. That's the 10-acre parcel that just got sold. It was right in the middle of those two streets. We've talked to the property owner. He has agreed to give us easement to put a new water main to loop it from Jordan to Peppermill. It's been in the water reliable study to have that done for a number of years. So hopefully we can move on that next year. This is the brick outside of City Hall that we had in the capital improvement plan to fix. Here is pension payments for the city. City pension payment is going to increase $1,164 a month. And city's portion of the Spring Lake Ferrisburg police pension is going to increase considerably over this year from $803 to $71.52. The city will be responsible for half of that cost for the police department, with the village paying the other half. These are the monies that come through the MPO. You can see that there hasn't been a whole lot of increase in dollars that come through the MPO. All these dollars are divvied up between all the agencies in Muskegon County and Northwest Ottawa County. So even though the street projects cost more and more every year, the funding doesn't keep up with it. Here is our public improvement fund. We're looking at for next year, and not too much in there. We've got the bike path payment, the bridge fund. We'll get some revenue. The next year on the right-hand column is the Dogwood Drive project at $500,000. And you can see if we do all the items that are listed on this plan, by the end of June 30th of 2024, we'll be in the hole about $460,000. That's based on the current funding. There's been some discussion on levying, asking for a millage for streets and for a bridge. If we got a half mil for each one, you could see that at the end of the June 30th of 2024, there would still be money in the fund and still be able to do all those projects. Some items that we're going to have to keep an eye on to start saving money to replace or fix. Smith's Bridge is on our list of, we are doing that. Pine Street needs to be replaced or repaved. We're looking at submitting a grant to pay for a portion of that. We haven't done any local streets in the city for a number of years. Local streets are getting bad. They need to be repaved. There just haven't been any money to do that. You do these major streets like Dogwood Drive, and the cost is just so high, with just nothing left in there for local streets. Lake Road is residents on that it's a private street. Residents have petitioned the city to repave that and set up a special assessment district to recoup the city's cost. Really hasn't been money to be able to do that. We're doing Piney Point with a special assessment district this year. Lake Road is not going to be an expensive project. We just don't have the funds in there for this year to do it. Hopefully in the following year, we'll be able to squeeze that project in. Public Works building, it's old, it needs some work. The guys are running out of space in there. One of these days, we're gonna have to do addition on there or a new building. And here is a couple pictures of the Ridge Avenue Bridge when it was constructed. That bridge is actually two bridges there. The part that goes over US 31 is owned and maintained by MDOT. The part that goes over the railroad tracks is owned and maintained by the city of Ferrisburg. When that needs to be replaced over the railroad tracks, the city is going to be responsible for that cost. This is the motorized equipment fund. The millage expires in 2021. You can see at the end of June 30th of 2020, we're expecting a balance in the fund of about $211,000. We buy a dump truck and a pickup truck the next year. The millage expires at the end of December 31, 21. And you can see that we start running the hole pretty quick. You've got two columns here. One on the left is if the millage renewal is renewed at 3/4 of a mil. The right-hand column is if it was renewed at 1 mil. And you can see at the bottom, if we do everything that we want to do at a 3/4 mil, we'll be in the hole about $250,000, a little less on the right-hand column if we had a mill renewal of 1 mil. For taxable increase over last year was a 5.6%. SEV went up about 11.78%. And then we do our calculations for the millage reduction fraction. And we see our millage reduction fraction as 0.9808, which is one of the lowest millage reduction fractions the city has seen. What that means is in 2019, the city levied 8.0323 mils. That was the maximum we could levy. With the millage reduction fraction, that amount gets reduced to 7.8789. And you look at the fourth column, and you can see that 0.9809 is the lowest millage reduction fraction since 2005 and going back farther. So even though there is a millage reduction fraction and a reducing the amount of millage the city can levy based on the increase in the taxable value of this year, we expect to get about $65,000 extra in revenue. Out of that $65,000, $3,200 is earmarked for the bike path bond, and another $3,200 is dedicated to the motorized equipment millage. And then we have an increase in the city's pension of about $14,000, increase in the Spring Lake Ferrisburg Police pension about $38,000. The city is proposing a 2% wage increase. That would be about $11,000 citywide. Harbor Transit, their millage increase from the 0.58 mils to 0.6, which will be another $10,000. And we're expecting about another $10,000 increase in our health and dental insurance. So even though we have an increase in revenue, expenses go up as well. And that's all I had at this time. And here, we want to take some questions.
Craig, we had a conversation the last couple of days regarding the estimated money coming in with the Act 51 funding. The estimated amount that was projected in February has now been changed as of last Friday afternoon, and it drops us down to almost lowers our total by almost $34,000 for that Act 51 money. Is that already taken into consideration while you've been working through this budget, or will there need to be some more adjustments made?
It was anticipated when we put the budget together. And actually, when I put the budget together for next fiscal year, we're expected to get $376,000. In February was $410,000. So with the crisis going on, it's dropped to 34,000 like the mayor indicated. I included less than the 376,000 in the city budget.
Okay. I assume that you were already being prepared for that, but just seeing some more real numbers coming through recently.
Hopefully it comes out better, but
Mhm, definitely. Is there, we've also, this is segue into with the Act 51 funding too, and speaking with MDOT, that right now it appears that the grant funding for the proposed grant that we'd be going for the local bridge, that funding should still be intact, that hasn't been changed currently due to any legislations that would have changed those totals. So I just wanted to add that piece in there. Any other questions or comments for Craig? Thanks for doing it, Craig. I know you put lots of hours into this. Anyone else?
Your Honor, Craig,
yes,
have we had any better explanation on the increase on the police retirement fund? I mean, that went up quite a bit the past year. Have they given us a good reason as to why? What is going on with that?
their explanation was that 2 people retired sooner than what they expected. And that's what put the pension in a deficit.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
the pension fund, that's just legacy costs, is that correct? And so we should see that eventually dropping, correct? Is that correct?
Correct. Once all the former Spring Lake, Ferrisburg employees are no longer drawing their pension, that will drop off. That would be a number of years down the road probably though.
What, 5, 10, 20 years down the road?
I think a couple employees recently retired that were will be longer.
Thank you,
They were younger when they retired.
thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Craig, how many other employees are covered under that, under the police department yet? That have not retired?
2, I believe.
So that pension increase has a possibility of increasing even more than it already has when they retire?
Possibly, but they were not on the Spring Lake Ferrisburg Police Department as long as the 2 retirees, current retirees. And so, they're spending more of their career underneath the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department, which will handle their pension.
So their pension payout that we're liable for would be less than the 2 that currently retired?
Correct.
Okay,
They
thank you.
won't have the number of years of services as these other 2 gentlemen did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other additional questions for Craig regarding this? Okay. Thank you. Now we will move down to item wish to speak. I'm not seeing any.
No.
Okay. At this time, I'll move down to reports. City manager? Okay. I'll just look at faces across the screen. And so the next report would be Councilmember DeWitt.
Just a quick question for Craig. We have a couple of zoning issues pending. Are we gonna try to do a Zoom zoning board meeting?
Yes, that's the plan right now, to do a Zoom meeting next Thursday.
Okay, can I get a hard copy of everything?
Sure, yes.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Okay. Councilmember Blees.
The planning committee will be meeting this Thursday, 7 PM, Zoom. So don't go to City Hall.
Okay.
May 7th.
May 7th.
That's it.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell. We can't hear you. Can you write a note? Hold it up? No,
Yep, nope.
no, nothing. Okay. Okay.
He could try to type it in the Q&A
Councilmember
box.
Montgomery, pardon me?
He could try to type it in the Q&A box.
Sure. Put it down in the chat box at the bottom. While you're doing that, we'll move on to Councilmember Montgomery.
Craig, when, are we gonna have a virtual, recreation meeting also?
Yes, that'll be the plan. Currently, the virtual meeting executive order expires May 12th. So it's unknown at this time if the governor is going to extend that or if she'll allow in-house meetings.
Okay,
But I think one of these times we all have to have a conversation about when the meetings do resume here at City Hall. Do we want to set the rooms up differently for social distancing?
okay.
I think it'll have to definitely be considered.
Yeah. Craig, do we have any formal policy on the city's social media?
Yes,
Can you send me a copy of that?
sure can.
And does that talk about who posts on it and who has access to it?
I'll double check out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Sias.
I had a citizen contact me about condos flooding on Park Place Condo Association. I think we're all familiar with it. It's AKA the Lakes, I believe. Where can I direct them as far as help? I mean, who's looking out for them? What is the city doing? I know that they've been in contact with the city before about it. I don't know really what happened at that point. So what can I tell them in response? Any ideas? It might go out to Craig. You might know a little more about it. I'm not sure. I mean, should I direct them to the Drainage Commission? Is it a county issue? You know, I mean, where does it go?
It's been an issue since that development's been there. You're more than welcome to have them call me. I'd be glad to discuss it with them. In fact, I had a conversation with the city engineer today. Back in 2006 or 2008, somewhere in there, there was some work done to connect those two ponds together with a 36-inch culvert. And at that time, the city did the project and special assessed the condo association for the costs. And it's been working ever since, but with the high groundwater, there's just nowhere a place for that water to go. Talked to the city engineer about it. You know, we've got some calls here at City Hall about the flooding. There's really not a good answer to stop that just because of the amount of groundwater there is right now.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's just pretty low in there, and they're kind of in the middle of a bowl where it all flows to down in that low spot. And I know some citizens have put in their own pumps in the basement, you know, but they're just pumping it in the back, and it's just a continuing flow, you know. There's no, so are we looking at connecting that to city drainage to the road drainage, or is that already kind of maxed out in that part of the city?
It's kind of maxed out with the two ponds that are being connected with that 36-inch culvert. We do have a spill on the back pond that flows into Coast Guard Park. And I think you've seen some pictures with the amount of water in Coast Guard Park.
That's
Part of that is from the water from Park Place Circle flowing into the city park. So we're doing what we can to try to get the water away from the buildings, but it's just the groundwater is so high right now.
Yeah. Okay, great. At least I'll let them know it's on our radar, and we're looking into it, and you're working with the condo association as well. So, all right. Appreciate it. Thanks. I just wanted to see what I was going to shoot you an email, but I figured I'd take care of it right now. So thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Councilmember Stias, because I too have had multiple conversations with residents over there, and Craig and I had this same conversation earlier today. So thanks for bringing it out tonight.
I know. Yeah, they got quite a bit of water, so
Yes,
it is what it is. Yeah. So okay. Thank you.
yes. Councilmember Carlson.
No report, although I do have a question for Craig, and that is, I saw the note regarding William Ferry lift station that the flows were sky high, and was wanting to know what the cause of that was.
It's probably a couple things, some infiltration and sump pumps being some pumps going into the sanitary sewer.
which isn't supposed to happen, correct?
That's correct. It could go into the storm sewer, but it cannot go into the sanitary sewer. Just as a side note on that, the lift station worked pretty hard that night. It was almost twice as much as that I've ever seen go through that building. We did burn a motor out. The public works department was out there all night manning the pumps, working them manually to make sure that we didn't have any backups. So our hats are off to the DPW for their work to keep it from backing up.
Does it appear that we've got a handle on the amount of people that are dumping illegally some pumps into the sanitary, or is it an ongoing problem?
It's an ongoing issue. When we do find one that is connected to the sanitary sewer, they're required to disconnect it. But we usually do not go back unless we have a reason to go back into the house to check for a water meter, or the building inspector goes in there for something.
Yep, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are great questions. For my report, I just want to congratulate Ms. Wieringa with her 22 years plus service with the city, because this is Municipal Clerks Week. So congratulations, Ms. Wieringa.
Thank you.
And just to let, I know council's been kept up to date, but I know that the people that are listening in, just to update them, what I've been doing since this COVID-19 has hit the community. I've been contacting more than 450 residents from the age population of 70 and above, doing well checks. They're doing similar to this at Grand Haven also. And then also have provided assistance when needed. And I additionally have reached out to all of our city board members too. If there's anything that we can do to assist people at this time. With those telephone conversations, I've had wonderful conversations with residents, and many of them thank me for reaching out to them. They were really surprised. A couple of people thought that I was just a recording, but then I continued talking and then they realized it was a live voice. But also with that being said, I want to thank Mr. Buzinger and Ms. Wieringa for assisting me in collecting some of the contact information that I wasn't able to find on many of the residents. I continue to work as my volunteer position with Ottawa County United Way and Ottawa County Emergency Center. And I continue to do the food distribution at different sites throughout Ottawa County throughout this past few weeks. And a special thank you, huge thank you to our city manager and city clerk who have been keeping the city going forward throughout all of this, DPW for the work that they did last night, fire department, and our police officers also. So thank you, kudos to all. That's it. End of report.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. Here we go. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Peace out.